Right, so I've been asked to do this video so many times, and I said I'd do it, and now finally I've got a bit of time. The only reason I'm doing it is because I ordered some paint and it's not turned up, so I thought, right, I will do this spray video. So the main question is spraying in a small workshop like this. Now, I've always sprayed in here. I started out with an airless one. Now, the amount of overspray was it was too much. It was like cloudy in here. So I spoke to one of my sprayers, the guy who sort of mentored me through all of this. He's a professional sprayer and he does it for a job. All I do, I'm a joiner by trade. I make wardrobes, I spray the doors, the trims and everything else what needs spraying. So it's not my full-time job. So I spoke to him and he said, right, go with the hvlps. There's very little overspray, and this is my first one actually. This one here is the Appolo. Now, I bought this off Facebook Marketplace for 250 quid. Now this, it's got an external air filter. This was really good. This, like, by getting the right paint, the right material I was using. So I started using the Fencer hydrofoil MDF MR, which is less sanding. It's so much better than MDF. It's like night and day. So use that because it is different and the quality is different. So the right material, the right paint. I only use the Renner, which he told me to get, which is this gear. So that's the Renner. I get this from Simply Coatings. Now, Simply Coatings have got branches all up and down the country. You have to go in first of all, open your account. I've got a cash account with them, so every time I order on the phone, I pay for it straight away. So I use the undercoat. It's all water based. So I use the undercoat and top coat in the Renner. The Renner has to be watered down a little bit. It struggles to get through the gun a bit. I find it struggles. So I just put like a 5 litre tub comes to about here. So I just put about that much water in it, mix it up, and it goes through the gun. Lovely. The colour, I don't mix up at all. It goes straight through the gun. It's a different paint. So you get that from Simply Coatings. So anyway, my Appolo, great machine. I bought it, and as soon as I started spraying with it, I thought, wow. And the quality, what was coming out of it was fantastic. It was like, God, I'm a professional sprayer. And it was like the first time I'd ever sprayed with hvlp. I'd sprayed with the airless, but the airless, you have to be so quick. And if you see the professional decorators, they're decorating and they're going, it's just, that's what they do day in and day out. I'm not a professional sprayer. I'm a joiner who can spray. So when I got this, it's a lot slower, it's a lot more detail, and you can get a better finish on this. We're not spraying vast amounts with stuff. So this Appolo did me really well, and I was so pleased with the work, what was coming out. This has got 3 turbines in it. This one's got 5. I don't know. You'll have to Google it. So I was spraying with this, no problem at all. Then my sprayer, who I get all my information from, has got one of these Greco Finishing Pro. Greco's just renowned for how good their sprayers are. So one came up on eBay at 750 quid. So I bid him 700 quid for it, and he said yes. And he was a painter and decorator, and he does new builds and stuff like that. It's just not quick enough for him. Well, I don't want quickness, I want precision. When I'm doing edges of doors, when I'm doing shaker style doors and I want to get into them grooves, it's perfect. So this was great, and I totally recommend it. If for your first sprayer, you get them on Facebook for about 200, 250 quid. The guns are good, nice metal gun. You can turn it so you can spray like, you can spray a dot, or you can spray a fan that way, a fan that way. So if you're spraying a long piece, you can go, so you can turn the fan. You can alter the pressure of the paint coming through, which all it does is restrict the needle. It stops you pulling your hand all the way back. You just tighten it in like that, and it only goes to there. If you see the difference, look, you can see it moving. That's all that does. And then this is the turn to get you spraying side to side. Problem with this is this tube. See this tube here? That goes into your pot. You put your paint directly into the pot. That goes into there and it's locked. So now your tube is bent like this. So if you're spraying at an angle and you've not got enough paint in there, it starts spluttering. But you get used to it. You just make sure you've got enough paint in there. And there's a lot of cleaning with this because you've got to clean it right out all the time. So that there is the Apollo. It's a great little machine, fantastic. And do you know what? I keep it because if anything ever goes wrong with this, I will gladly spray with this again. So if I'm halfway through a job and this breaks down, I'll pull the Apollo out and finish the job off, and it'll be fine. There'll be no problem. The hose on them the hose on it is smaller than that. I think that's a 6 metre on this one. This is smaller and it's more rigid. See how rigid this is? The hose on the Greco, it's got like a flexi, just about a metre, look. See it? So you can hold it and spray it better. So as for your first sprayer, the Apollo hvlp is fantastic. And you'll go, wow, because we're not professional sprayers, we're joiners who want to spray in small workshops. There's dust all over this place, but I spray on the bench. I've got a racking system there. Basically all it is some shelf racking with pipe lagging, you know, what the plumbers use, over it, so it's nice and soft when you put your work on there. That's all I've got in here, and that's drying. So what I do is I tend to spray either first thing in the morning if I'm going out fitting. So I'll come in here, spray, leave, then that's drying while I'm working, fitting wardrobes or whatever. Or then I'll stop work at say 3 o'clock, over up a little bit, clean up, put my plastic down on top of this, and I'll spray on this, and then that dries overnight for the next night. So if I'm working in the workshop, I know the next day I've got. So you work your timings out when you're in a small workshop. We've not got spray booths, we've not got nothing like that. So that is a great sprayer, and do you know what? I'll be happy using that again. So when this came up on eBay, I thought, right, I'll get it. So I went and picked it up, liked the hose, but when I first got it, I was like, these are like 1,600 quid. These are like 500. So these are 3 times dearer. So when I first got it, I was expecting this massive difference in quality and stuff like that. And there wasn't. When I first got it, first couple of weeks I was spraying, I was thinking to myself, well, it's pretty much the same as what I've got here. But what I've learned over the time is you've got more control over the gun. So by turning the gun like that, that does the dot, the fan that way. You can go fan sideways. Now, you can also turn down the air. So on here, you can turn the air. So when I'm doing corners, say I'm doing the edge of the door, I don't want to blast it. So I turn it down to about 4 or 5, turn it to a spot, and then I'll spray the side of the door. And then I'll turn it back to fan and whack the air right up, and then I'll do my fan. You want it to, this is what I've been told, when you're spraying, you want the particles in the paint to smash against the material. That's what I got told. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. It's just what I got told. The best thing about this one, you can do the air, you can do the paint, so you can reduce the paint, you can reduce the air. And this one comes in these plastic cartons. So what you do, you've got your pot here. These plastic cartons go in there like that, and there's an air line here, what goes from there into the pot. So when you put your pot on like that, the air. And what happens with this is, when you start spraying, it crushes and creates a vacuum inside it. So you can spray upside down, because you've not got a pipe going in. So you can spray. And then when you come to change your paint over, you'll see your pot is like that inside when you take your top off. And then all I do is poke it with a stick, and then I can pour more paint in, and then I can carry on. These you buy a box of 25 for around 40 quid, 45 quid. They sell them on Amazon. They come in next day, so if you're ever short of pots, Amazon's fantastic, stuff like that. They go into there like that, then you put your top on, and then you connect your gun to your top like that, and you've got no pipe in there. So if you've got to get underneath, you know, sometimes you've got side panels. So you'll spray the side panel like that. What I do is I hang my side panel over a little bit because I need to spray just a strip. So when you open the door, you see that little strip. So sometimes I'll spray with it over, and I'll get on my knees and spray that strip in. And you can do it with this because you can spray upside down if you've not got that piping. So I found it a lot. After a while, I just constantly turn to this. It's got quite a good features on it. You switch it to number 1, and it's called Smart Start. So it starts up straight away, gets everything up to pressure. Then what you do, you spray your paint out, and then for a little while till it's got that vacuum, and then it stops spluttering, and then away you can go. But as soon as you put your gun down and you rest it for a little while, it turns itself off. So then you grab your gun, say you're picking up your work and you put it on your shelf, it will turn itself off, you'll come back and put it down, and then as soon as you press your gun like that, it starts back up again. So that's got quite a good start to it. You can see it's working. I keep this at the workshop, so what I do, behind me here is a plug socket. So what I do is I have an extension lead from there, and I sit it by the doors there. So, because it's sucking air in and it's blowing air out. It's sucking air out through the filter and it's blowing air out. And what you don't want it to be is inside where you're spraying, because we ain't got a spray booth and masses of extraction. You don't want it to sit where some paint overspray could get in there. You're going to get a little bit of overspray, but not like the airless. So I sit it by the door, control it with the extension lead if I want, so I don't have to keep walking out there. Do it like that. Now, so that's basically the two guys. I love this machine, I think it's great, but if you're going to start off and want to learn spraying, get the Apollo. For 250 quid, you can get a second-hand one. I did, on the Apollo gun, if you have a look on the gun here, that is plastic. And what happens is, if you don't clean it right, it becomes really stiff. So to clean it, all I do is clean that pot out, put hot water in there, warm water, and then just take the warm water. I take the top, I take the head off here, and pull that, and there's a nut there, you unscrew that, and then I clean that out as well, run that under the tap with hot water. This one to clean out is pretty simple. These pots, what you use, what I do is when it's empty, I'll wash the pot out so it's clean. This pot never gets dirty, but I'll wash this pot out, clean, put warm water in it, put it back in, and then clean the gun out with that. And then I can reuse this. These are not throwaway. It's got a little seal around here, like a little rubber seal. That seals around the top of your pot and creates that vacuum. After a while, that seal gets a bit weak, so you might have to change it. I don't know. As soon as you change it, you'll see it's going a bit weak, and you might get a little bit of paint run down the side. See, its paint runs down here where the seal's not quite sealed. So they're not throwaway. Keep using them till they go. Every time I do like a new colour, I'll get a new pot out, and then what I'll do is I'll spray once. Say I've got a wardrobe and it's 6 doors. I normally spray the backs of the doors first on all the trims, and then they'll dry. Then I'll clean the pot out, and then I'll use that pot for the fronts and to finish off. So the one pot will do one job. That's the air extraction. Cleaning this one out, it's just the same. Sorry, cleaning this one's out, it's just the same. Unscrew that, take it out, run water through it, and then you don't clean that out, you clean that out, and that's it. So this is only for people who are working in small workshops. So air extraction, I do get a little bit of overspray, and when I look up with my mask, there might be a little bit, nothing like the airless. So what I did, I bought this thing. So this is a fan, and what it does, it pulls out the air. So I'll sit you on a chair here, you get a 5 metre long tube with it. These are about 130 quid, 140 quid. This is I think this is the 10-inch one. They do a 12, 14, but 130 quid, and it's fine. It pulls everything out. So I'm sitting on a chair there, I'm spraying on the table here, I'm sitting on the chair, sit it on the chair there, hose goes out the door, and that's fine, it pulls out. And then when you look up, you can see it's bright and there's nothing around here. So I hope that's answered a few questions. I'm going to get more questions. I I think I've covered everything. The Apollo, definitely go for the Apollo. I think the Apollo is such a great little machine. I just think it's fantastic, and it changed the way I spray because I was frustrated with it. It was like cloudy in here, and because the airless was, you have to go really quick, and I'm not professional. I started to get frustrated with myself. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do this, and then somebody told me to get the hvlp, so I looked on the internet and looked at different hvlps, and that one came up on Facebook Marketplace. If you type in now Facebook Marketplace Apollo hvlps, there'll be loads coming up because it's a lot of people's first machine, and then they get onto that. And the only reason I've started spraying in this shop, because one was the expense of a sprayer, a professional sprayer. I had 5 doors, 1 side panel, and the trims on one wardrobe, and it was like 1,200 quid. And I was like, 1,200 quid. Now I've got to put that 1,200 quid on my price with my profit, and my wardrobes were suddenly going sky high. So I thought to myself, I spoke to the sprayer, and he says, look, you can do it. If you're a good carpenter and you're good, and do you know what I mean? If you're good at your job and you're quite skillful, spraying will just come natural to you. You basically just keep your gun 150 mil off the work, and then just spray. I'll do some more spray videos and stuff like that, but this is basic for people who want to spray in a small workshop like this, what I've got, and turn out really good work. So I hope that's helpful for you. I think I've covered everything. I've covered the paint. These are about 1,600, 1,700 quid brand new. These are about 450, 500. They're on eBay. There's a company sells them on eBay, 500 quid. But look on Marketplace first. But if this breaks, like I said, if this ever breaks down, I will gladly go back to this, because the quality is really good. Right, I hope that helps you out, guys. I said I'd do this little video. I've got like a little mic here or something. I've got to press a button. I don't do videos to try and flog you stuff. I don't try and flog you mastics. I don't try and flog your tools. I don't get paid for these videos. All I'm doing is passing on my knowledge. I don't do how-to videos of how to fit skirting and how to, because most of my followers on Instagram are all carpenters, good carpenters as well. I've seen some of your work. It's fantastic. It pushes me on. You do some lovely stuff. So they're mainly carpenters wanting to get into spraying, or it's just like a community of good people. I've not had a bad comment really. I've not had somebody say, if somebody says, oh, I would have done it like that, and then I think about it, I don't take it as personal. That it's new ideas, it's people joining in a conversation. Many a time I've gone to places and I've watched somebody do something, I've gone, that's really clever. So it's I'm not one of these how to do this, and I'm not one of these people who want to get thousands and thousands of followers. If you follow me, great, I appreciate it, but it is what it is. I'm coming to the end of my career now. I'm 56 years old. I've been doing it 30 odd years. I'm just passing on my knowledge to the young lads, so you can earn some money, get some money out of this trade. Then 150s a days and £200 a days, they're good. They're all right. They pay the wages, but it don't. Especially now, it covers your bills and stuff. Now I want you to get to the 300 and maybe the 350 and £400 a day starts by spraying this sort of stuff. I don't think I'll hit £400 a day, to tell you the truth. But you know what I mean. You're only investing in yourself and what you're better off. Right, guys. I'll speak to you later.